there. They're swaying. There is nervous energy that I can feel from South End all the way here off Billy Graham Parkway, and we've discussed the reasons why. I think more than any other franchise that has picked so far, this is the one with the most reason to be concerned right now, right?
Absolutely. And when you think of the pillars you have with LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller, you're just thinking if we can nail one more pick, we can finally turn that corner as a franchise. And I think that's why you see so much anxiousness from the Hornets group, from the Hornets supporters and fan base, because this could be it. All
right, let's take a listen in at the Hornets draft party. The pick is in. Kon Knueppel is a Charlotte Hornet, the Robin to Cooper Flagg's Batman in Durham, North Carolina. There is the reaction. I think it's a mostly positive reaction, Jeremy. A lot of people really fired up, very fired up, that one gentleman there. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of negativity about this pick, but there might be some, certainly. Why would somebody look at this pick and say not at 4?
Not at 4, just to entertain this. I think that he will have some struggle on the defensive side of the ball. What we've seen in the NBA is that the backcourt position is so deep. Even guys like Trey Mann on the Hornets, these guys are 6th men and deeper on a rotation, on a roster, and they can still hunt people on defense and get guys in optimistic or good matchups for them. So I worry about the lateral quickness a little bit for Kon, but as Brandon said, he's a winner. This guy will definitely be okay and ready to work on that side of the ball. And for that reason, I'm okay with the pick. If anything, I'm actually more than okay with the pick.
Okay, so he does a lot of things really well, but the best thing he does is shoot the 3. How badly do the Hornets need it, and how do you think it translates from Durham to Charlotte?
This is the biggest thing the Hornets needed other than defense. When you think about a team with a shot creator, a guy who can play make for everybody in a LaMelo Ball, you want to be able to have someone like Kon Knueppel. When the defense collapses, they have to respect him from the corner, meaning I can't bring that double to LaMelo. I can't bring that double to Brandon Miller because we have a knockdown shooter in Kon Knueppel. This guy, only the shooting kind of comes out in highlights, but we saw in the ACC tournament when Kaman Maluach and Kon Knueppel had a screen and roll against the UNC Tar Heels, they had lobs over and over and over again. He can also play make for others when you get the gravity for Brandon and LaMelo.
We'll go through your projected starting lineup in a moment, but is he somebody that you could see starting this season?
Absolutely.
Okay. Kon Knueppel at 4 to the Charlotte Hornets. We have Danielle Stein, our sports reporter, live at Hornets draft headquarters, which is, it's a little different these days at the Capitol Grill, and the Hornets are holed up at Fifth Third Bank. Danielle, we did just see the Hornets fan party reaction in South End. I'd say it was overwhelmingly positive. It does seem like the Hornets went with a very safe pick here instead of going the Ace Bailey and trade route. What are your thoughts on Kon Knueppel, the Charlotte Hornet?
Yeah, I think you said the word that was kind of expressed across this room that I'm in with fellow media members as well, being safe. That's a word that, of course, is not a bad thing when you are a Hornets team who would maybe like some stability as they're entering a year, not taking a major risk on a player like Ace Bailey, like you mentioned, but having Kon, who is proven to be a winner, as you talked about with Duke, getting that ACC tournament MVP title, helping lead them all the way to that Final Four. Even when Cooper was out, he really stepped up in so many different ways. We talked about how complete his game is, and you and I spoke about how, yes, he was just a freshman, but he also brings a lot of maturity. He seemed to really carry the weight of the Duke team on his shoulders. He seemed always to be level-headed. He seemed calm, cool, collected, and I think that's going to be very valuable joining onto this Hornets team.
All right, Danielle Stein joining us from Hornets headquarters. We'll hear from President of Basketball Operations, Jeff Peterson. Sounds like after the first round is complete, maybe. Do you read anything into that? They've got those 2 early seconds.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that screams there could be some more picks coming tonight. We will see. But yeah, having them, normally they were going to speak right after the pick, and then to push it till the end shows me that, hey, they might not be done today. I think Kon is a great first pick for them for this draft, but who knows, we might be getting another player in the second round, in this first round coming later tonight, and we're going to be hearing from Jeff Peterson. We're also going to be hearing from Kon Knueppel via Zoom in just a little bit here as well.
Yeah, and I'll let you get to that because that's a big one. We want to make sure you're on that. Last question, Danielle. You've been here for 6 months, but two things you have covered are the end of a dismal Charlotte Hornets season and the ACC tournament in which Kon Knueppel had to carry the load after Cooper Flagg's unfortunate injury against Georgia Tech. So what did you learn about both and how this could all mesh right away?
Yeah, like we said, I think he does come in with a pretty complete game. We've talked about that outside shooting, but I was really impressed at some of the other things he was able to do. His rebounding, he was aggressive. He was going in the lane as well, really seamlessly. It looks like in some of those ACC tournament games that we saw him already comfortable playing at the Spectrum Center, which is a good sign during that ACC tournament. But he's someone who, like we were talking about, is level-headed and seems to be mature beyond his years already. So coming into a team that has players that might be needing to lean on some of that maturity could be a good thing. Even if he is younger in age, it might be good to have more of a rock sort of stable feature in their lineup as well.
All right, Danielle Stein about to be on the call with Kon Knueppel, the newest Charlotte Hornet. I got to get one of those hats he has on. I don't know if you saw it on the draft, so hopefully he's still wearing that. We can find out where he got it. But and he's got a lot of siblings too. I'm sure it'll all come up. But my goodness, there were a lot of Knueppels on that on the broadcast that are all coming to Charlotte apparently.
And they're all excellent athletes from what I've heard as well.
It could be the first of many Knueppels on the Charlotte Hornets. Who knows? Danielle Stein in Uptown, thanks for joining us. We will check in later and hear from Jeff Peterson and Kon Knueppel. And you will be live with Walker Mail around 9:15 to further break down the selection of Kon Knueppel. Jeremy, I want to get back to the choice there because there clearly was a choice. The Hornets removed Ace Bailey and that situation from the choices and went Kon Knueppel presumably over Trey Johnson. Why not Trey Johnson? If you could put yourself in the mind of Jeff Peterson, why not Trey Johnson there with all the offensive potential?
If I could put myself in the mind of Jeff Peterson, I think Trey Johnson, in order to be at his best, would need the ball in his hands. And with guys like Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball that already eat up a lot of the shot diet of the Hornets, I think that having a guy like Kon Knueppel that is exceptional off the ball really helps him. I mentioned earlier with Ace Bailey how scaling back is way harder than you think it is. I don't think Kon needs to scale back. I think the guy he was at Duke will fit seamlessly into the guy he can be on the Hornets.
All right, we'll see where Trey Johnson goes. Ace Bailey is gone now to the Utah Jazz. That's going to be awfully interesting for a lot of reasons, but we'll skip that and we will discuss Jeremy Grandison's projected starting lineup for the Charlotte Hornets in 2025 and 2026. Shout out to producer Jeb Goldman for putting this together quickly. Look at that. So how does this all fit together? Kon Knueppel in at starting shooting guard.
I think this is great for Charles Lee and his offense. I think about it like an NFL playbook, where if you're Kyle Shanahan and you have Christian McCaffrey and you have George Kittle and you have Brock Purdy and then Kyle Juszczyk, you have so many different options on offense, so many different schemes and alterations and formations you can use. With a guy like Kon, with the shooting he brings the Hornets, I think it opens up the playbook for what Charles Lee wants to do on offense. And man, what we've seen from him is he is a master at ATOs, calling a timeout, coming back out and drawing up a great play. Having a guy that can be a knockdown shooter, making the defense respect that guy, opens up so much for everyone else on the court.
How do things look defensively, and do they look any better tonight?
Defensively is where I have some concern because I think of a back line of LaMelo, Kon Knueppel, and Brandon Miller. And if you're an opposing team, you're licking your lips, you're licking your chops because we've seen Brandon Miller and LaMelo have foul trouble problems in the past. I think on the defensive side of the ball, I think you're going to need to draft someone else or acquire someone else that can come in at that 2 guard, at that 3 guard, and be able to alleviate some defensive pressure from those two.
All right.